So basically, it's right around this time last year. The Hawaii season had came to an end, and I had been kind of looking at going down to North Africa. There was a couple waves down there that I've been watching over the last few years that I really wanted to surf and document. And with the alignment of a massive swell in the you know Atlantic Ocean and the conditions, everything came together for, mid-February for like a run of three back-to-back swells that were probably bigger than anything they've seen in the last 20 years. So by the grace of God, everything worked out perfectly. Myself, Luke Davis, and Koa Smith pulled the trigger on heading down there, and WSL had been doing this series called At Large in their strike mission series, and I hit them up of like asking if they wanted to cover it and do a strike mission on it, and they were stoked, so they jumped on board, and we teamed up with them and headed down there. And unbelievable, probably the best trip of my life. Unbelievable waves for about 10 days straight. Last day of the trip, I suffered a very severe injury that put my life at risk. Handfuls of surgeries later, stem cell treatments, more physical therapy and training than you could even imagine somebody getting done in a year, let alone 4 or 5 months. And the return to surfing, the waves that made me who I am, and that's big waves. That at a very early point of my recovery, I was just kind of, something told me mentally that like I wanted to, there's questions. That's why at the beginning of like, do I want to surf again? Do I really want to put my life at risk with my family and my wife? And, I immediately was fueled like 100%, like I want to be back stronger, and I want to be back this season. Like I don't want to miss a season at home. I don't want to miss a swell at Jaws or a contest out at Jaws. If they run the event, I want to be ready to win. And when I kind of made that decision, it kind of came natural of like, this summer's going to be different than any other summer in my entire life. And I'm going to make a lot of sacrifices, and I'm going to basically base myself in Southern California, living with Laird Hamilton and Gabby Reese, and getting the best training, physical therapy, and treatment that I could, that, basically sports offers. And that's majority is going to be in California. And that's kind of how, documenting all of the training and the people that have been a part of this journey, kind of how it blossomed into a 6-piece documentary series. Yeah, and that's something that no one's really done in our community of the surf world. It hasn't been overlooked or anything. It's just that, there's been life-threatening injuries, but I feel like people, I don't know, you really want to focus on yourself and getting back stronger. But at the same time, I found out that, giving back is more rewarding than receiving. And that's like, if I can give back some bit of inspiration or motivation for somebody in the future coming back from a severe injury or a hard time in life, it's not just about being injured. This story is far, far more than just a road to recovery. I've lost my brother, I lost my mom, I lost my best friends, and I was able to figure out a formula to use all the hard times and losses as just fuel to the fire, and really push myself to be the best version of me and make my legacy proud. And that's been the goal since day one, and just continuing to do that is the reason why I wanted to make this series, and in hopes is to make an impact on the future and people who need that push when times are hard. I'm pretty well. I have a lot of friends from outside of surfing. And one friend in particular, Mark McMorris, a professional snowboarder, he dates like my little sister Coco, and I've gotten pretty close to him. And through the injury, he was one of the first people to reach out. And for anyone who doesn't know Mark, he's the greatest snowboarder on planet Earth right now. And he also has went through a handful of injuries, but one in particular that basically took his life, and he was able to fight back and live, and live and survive, and then come back and become, the most dominant competitor in snowboarding history. It's crazy what he's done, and he made a documentary on his return, and it really helped me. It really did. And as crazy as it sounds, like, you truly, as an athlete, or somebody who's a competitor, you feel alone when you're that hurt. And to hear other people's stories that you respect and look up to is it's something that'll really help you. And that's what he did for me. So as far as like motivation or inspiration, I definitely drew and grew from that. So I got hurt at the ending of February 2020, very close to now, which is crazy. And it was right when COVID was starting to like blossom, like really explode. It was kind of popping off everywhere, and Europe was really getting hit hard. And that being said, I was medevaced in a private plane back to the United States, and we had a very hard time getting clearance from customs. That being a flight coming in internationally on a private plane with no, it was a bit hard and tricky to even land in California, and we were approved. We got in. After getting declined from a few different airports, and that being just the forefront of the return and the injury. After that, I live here in Hawaii, but all of my majority of all my treatment, all of my surgeries and any sort of medical performances were all done in California. And it was really hard at the beginning. I had my family there, and then when COVID started getting a lot more serious, they came home, and I was flying back and forth, but I was flying with medical exemptions. And then alongside having to quarantine a couple times as well. And it was very difficult not having my family there. And, it's just about making the right sacrifices at the right time to be able to continue being who I am. For sure. The fear is, I mean, I didn't even know what fear was until this injury, to be honest with you. This is a whole different category of um of fear. It was very scary. And you know when I look at returning to surfing, I was terrified, but I knew I was ready because for me, the harder I work, the stronger my mind gets. And when I'm mentally that strong, I don't question anything, and that's what I got myself to. And I knew I could do that, and that was the mindset of this whole thing was, if I can work harder than I ever have, in the gym, physical therapy, in the pool, everything, then I know there'll be no guessing, like second guesses, or I won't be questioning anything on my return. And it's exactly what happened. I mean, it's as real as it gets. There's a lot of very embarrassing moments in there, and to be a man and to be a father and to be that, like, strong person to your family, it's very hard. But I'm not me unless I'm being honest. And that's the name of the game, is being honest and being present. And that's what I want to, that's, my motto. It's what I live for in life, is to be present and to be honest with myself. And I know if I'm doing that, then my family's proud. And, it's time to just, it's time to really just focus on my family and myself. And I know when I do that at my best, everything's aligned. And yeah, I hope that this series is able to give back and help people when they need it, because I was helped by a handful of people when I was down and out, and that this is my thank you, and for all the people who helped and were a part of the journey. This documentary is yours. You guys are the reason why we're doing this. I mean, most importantly was the pool training with Laird and Gabby. What they've created with their XPT training is, to me, the the best performance pushing um, fitness that's ever been done. There's no way to push yourself harder than XPT pull training. I mean, to be able to push that much weight and, with the amount of, hard impact on your joints and muscles, lifting weights while having your lungs under stress, holding your breath at the deep end of a pool is, I mean, it's the pinnacle of performance training, and for all of sports. It don't matter what track you're on, what field you're on, what court you're on, or what ramp or ocean you're in. It's just all around unbelievable workout. And that, for me, what Laird had utilized with me for my return was incredible. And it was a lot of breath holding stuff, a lot of recovery stuff too. A lot of heat and ice contrast. We use the saunas and ice baths a lot. So what they did at their compound for me was undescribable how much it helped me. With COVID kind of shutting down majority of the surfing events here in Hawaii this winter, it kind of opened up a different mindset going into the year. I had to try to get my mind into a competitive mindset in under like 8 months, and want to be the best surfer in the world and compete against the best, and not compete against them but beat them. And it got me really, like, it was really hard. In the last few weeks, I've just kind of tried to taper off and start, like, not waking up at 5 a.m. and just being more of a normal person with my family. And yeah, I'm still training. I surf every day, but more on an enjoyment level than like this crazy work level. And right now, I'm really looking forward to, I know it is, with COVID regulations, it is hard and not the safest to travel, but, with taking the protocols at a really highly respected level, I'm gonna travel to as much as I can over the next 6 months and try to surf the best waves in the world and create some more content in media for all of the friends and all the people at home to watch, and tell more stories, not just show people the cool stuff, but bring people along the way and show them what it's like. Uh, you know, my career was definitely questioned through this. It was definitely, there was like, what happens if I can't come back, because I wasn't walking for a long period of time, and to have your pelvis bolted together is not the most comforting thing in the world. And um those emotions are just, they're just there to make you that much more hungry and that much more determined, because obviously I questioned everything, but I would never ever stop it for nothing. Like, until my body is completely useless, like, I'm gonna surf because I love it, and it was what I was raised to do. My mom and my brother put me on a path that I'll never get off of, because I'm so grateful for what they did for me. And you know, is it dangerous? Of course it is, but it's who I am and what I love doing. And was there a backup plan for what I was going to do next? No, because I'm not going to ever stop. But of course, I see in the future. I've really invested myself into fitness and recovery, and yeah, that's definitely, I mean, it's not even, it's part of my routine now. It's part of my lifestyle, but there'll definitely be something that adds that to, definitely to my repertoire over the next few years of really investing deeper and deeper into fitness, whether it's training or a trainer. It's definitely, it's in the horizon, and it's getting closer. Be sure to check out the series. It's going to be airing next Wednesday on WSL Surf League, and yeah, it's all history from there. Every Sunday after that, it'll be following up 6-piece documentary series on myself called Billy.